I think my dad's the opposite. He works all day.
That's why they work well together.
That's true. I never thought about that till now. But yeah, they're the complete opposite. So I think we kind of got inspiration from the two of them, like my mom from her spiritual side, my dad from his practical, like let's work hard side. But I think to find the most success, you have to do both. It's so important.
I love that. That's such a beautiful message too.
Yeah.
Because like we can get lost on either extreme of hustle and grind or meditation and manifestation.
Totally.
And it's the marriage of both, like in your parents' marriage, of bringing them both together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about a year and a half ago when we were just so busy just keeping up with all the crazy work that we had, we were definitely lost in our hard work. We were like a hamster in a wheel, and we're just constantly just keeping up with our to-do list. And we didn't really think strategically. And I think having that time in the morning. And then also something that one of our investors told me about, she was like, you need to schedule in Slack time. And I was like, what is Slack time? And she's like, time where you schedule nothing. And I was like, what is that? I don't even know what you mean by that. And she's like, you just need to put in an hour or 2 hours for you to think. And I was like, this is interesting. But it's so funny because most people who have, 9 to 5, 9 to 6 jobs, they don't schedule time to think.
Yes.
And now that I do that, I find it crazy that I didn't do it, because you need time to just kind of download all your thoughts, download everything that you had in meetings and just all the progress that you have or the challenges you have, and just think about it and reflect and create a plan.
Absolutely. Yeah, I often say that, all of our phones, we know when our battery is at 20% and then it gives us an alert at 10%, but we don't have that for our own check.
That's so deep.
We don't have a signal from ourselves to us that, hey, you're on 10% now, hey, you're on 3% now, oh wait, you need to recharge. And often with our willpower or whatever we may be, we push past that recharge. But we all know our phones die if they don't get recharged. They burn out.
We need an app for that.
We do need an app for that.
That's so
definitely.
true.
Like just being able to give us an alert on our energy levels, on our mental space. I've been taking for the past couple of months 2 days a week where I'm just being creative, which means I pick up a random book on my shelf or I make notes, and there's no real agenda for the day. There's no goal or deadline. Yeah. It's just to have space to think. And I can honestly agree that that's made me more effective and impactful when I have to be on all the time. Right. So I love that point.
I never thought about that. I'm like, I need to check myself because I don't really pay attention to when I'm on E or 10%. It's just, I think we've always had that, me and Huda both, we've always had that mentality of just working till exhaustion.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you should check in on yourself sometime.
Yeah, just even just sitting and just sensing with our body, like where am I feeling pain or where am I feeling aches? Where am I feeling great? Where am I feeling good? And then the same with the mind. And I know that in my life I've often neglected the body by focusing on mastering the mind, and then you learn the hard way sometimes. Yeah. So
I need to do more of that. It's all progress. I think this year has really been a year of self-awareness for both of us. For myself especially, I just feel like this year I've learned so much about myself. It's been scary.
Tell me something that you've learned about yourself, something that's new and something that's always been there, but you're like, oh yeah.
I mean, I learned a lot. It's funny doing the reality show Huda Boss.
I wanted to talk about it.
Myself.
Yes. Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
It just made me realize that.
So by the way, if you've not seen Huda Boss, you have to go and watch it. If you're listening or watching this right now, you have to, because it's such an authentic reality show.
Thank you.
And it really gives you a snapshot into how hard they work, how deeply they work, how meaningfully they work.
Thank you.
So I highly, highly recommend it. But yes, please, let's hear about it.
Where do I start? I think one thing I realized was just a lot of blockage I had in my life towards relationships and just dating and marriage and things like that. I think you first need to get rid of all the negativity because, love is a beautiful thing. Finding a partner in life is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. So I think that regardless of whatever route you want to take, just get rid of all the negativity because it should be positive. You're not going to attract the right partner if you feel guilty or if you think bad thoughts. So I think remove all of that and just start focusing on the goals that you want in terms of a partner and just highlight like what's important to you and the values that you want to find. Because I think if you focus on that, you're going to attract people who would work. So get rid of blockage.
Great advice.
No room for blockage in your life, in any area.
Yeah. Anything else you learned? I love that one, by the way. That's your level of self-observation and self-study is beautiful to see.
Thank you.
Because just the way you're speaking about, and I hope everyone listening, I really want you to take this seriously. Everything Mona is sharing is huge, huge takeaways.
Oh, thanks.
So everything you're sharing is so powerful because I feel all of us are telling ourselves stories in our minds. We're blocking our minds with so many subconscious thoughts. And I'm often talking about how like the world's fascinated with learning, but the real need is unlearning. Like the real need is to unlearn what we believe is true, because that's, like you said, creating what you're attracting in your life.
Yeah.
So please, 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 when you listen to Mona on this episode, just look at it from that perspective of what in your life is blocking you. What story in life have you been telling yourself about relationships, about someone you're attracted to, about work, about career, that's actually stopping you from moving you forward?
Yeah, it's very true. Unlearning is a big part of it. So I think from the show, it's just like, I need to unlearn a lot of things.
Because you used to watch yourself back?
Yeah.
How did that feel the first time?
I was like, who's this person? Like, I think especially in the beginning, I just got super uptight. And Huda makes fun of me. She says I have like pageant princess syndrome. Oh, yeah. Because I was in the pageants as a child. So I was like really taught to be poised and like, you know, just pose a certain way, carry myself a certain way. But I really think that that was kind of negative in a way, because I feel like it really taught you to try to be perfect, which I think is just so unrealistic. And I think that you should never encourage people to be perfect. You're setting them up for failure almost, and you set them up to be too hard on themselves. So that was something that I realized through the show, that I need to get that out of my head. Perfect doesn't exist. Just be your goofy, fun self, and you'll be happier. People will be happier around you, and just, I don't know, I learned I needed to loosen up more. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still working on it.
But you all do it so beautifully. Like, I always feel when I'm watching your stories, I get so happy.
Really?
On Instagram, yeah, because I feel like there isn't that, yeah, exactly what you said, you're being your fun, and I didn't call you goofy, you called yourself goofy.
I want to be goofy.
Yeah, as in, yeah, but your fun, goofy self, like, I don't feel that there's that filter or there's that lens by which you're thinking, oh no, but this is our brand, and etc. And I think that's why people love you all so much, and are attracted to your energy, because it's so genuine. And I know the word authentic is so overused, but I feel like it's transparent, and you're not afraid to. Yeah, I like transparent, because it's like you're not afraid for people to see you as you are in that moment. And I guess, and I'd love to talk to you a bit about that, because how do you find it? Because in one sense, beauty and the way the media has worked with beauty for years and decades has always been about perfection. Like, I always joked about this. I remember aisles of the makeup side of brands that would say, get the natural look. And I'd be like, how do you get the natural look? Like, you have a natural look when you wake up, right? And so tell us a bit about how you've managed that balance between building this huge, incredible beauty brand, which is built on inner beauty to outer beauty, positive energy, but how you maintain that balance between not valuing perfection, but not selling it, like not telling people to be perfect.
I think we're really lucky I think we're really lucky to have Huda Beauty start in a time where there's social media, because I think previously it just wasn't possible to share the message that, you know, scars are beautiful, beauty marks are beautiful, asymmetry is beautiful, and just, you know, now is such a special time, because I feel like with social media, everybody has a voice, and that's so amazing. And everybody feels like they're included, because in the past it was like these big, huge conglomerates decided on what the advertisements would look like, and everybody thought they had to look like that. And I think the conglomerates thought that people wanted that, but they don't realize nobody wants that. Nobody wants to feel like they have to look like a Barbie. You know, that's just, it just makes you feel so insecure in so many ways. So I think that now, because of social media, we all celebrate looking different, being different, and that's something so special. And I think that's something we're super lucky to be a part of now, where cosmetics now are all about celebrating yourself and enhancing your own beauty. You don't have to be like anybody else. Just be the best version of yourself. And even if that means some days you don't want to wear makeup at all, and you just want to be in your pajamas and go to the grocery store like that, do it. Do whatever makes you feel good, because confidence is more beautiful than anything. I feel like, as well, just holding things back, it's just, when you're super honest about everything, you just have this lightness and this freedom to yourself. And I feel like that's when you have more creativity. You're just, you don't have, it's again like the blockage. You don't have the blockage. Get it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I read this awesome study the other day that was talking about how this is so simple again, but I have to raise it, because if you meditate on it, it makes a lot of sense that when you're lying, you have to remember the lie and the truth. And what that does is it takes up more brain space, it takes up more brain energy, and it's stretching stressing out your ability to recall. Whereas when you just tell the truth and you share the truth, then you have nothing else to remember, and then it becomes simple.
That's so true.
So it just, you know, even from a neuroscientist point of view, it's just making the brain's processing a lot easier. And then obviously we know from a spiritual point of view, it's making your,
So good.
yeah, exactly, the fulfillment.
That's so true. I learned that as a child. I think that was the last time I lied. It was like to my parents, and I was like, I can't do this. This is too much stress in life. I can't carry on. But no, that's a great point. Yeah, so we just want to be honest with everyone. And again, I think the more honest we are with people, the more we'll be able to help people. And that's the ultimate goal. You know, it's great to create products. It's great to achieve all these records that we've broken in terms of selling product and everything, but the ultimate goal is to really help people feel better about themselves.
Yeah. I was reading a lot of your interviews and Huda's as well before today. I always like doing my research and hearing things that I haven't heard before. And there was a part where Huda was talking about how you're just such a good judge of character and passions and noticing people's like skills and their potential. And that's how we worked with Huda too when you first started out. Like you felt that she was so in love with beauty and her passion was there. Tell us about that journey, because I think a lot of people struggle with identifying themselves, but not only have you identified your own, you're helping other people identify theirs. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think similarly to you, like my whole life I kind of grew up with Tony Robbins and all these really inspirational mentors. I never met him, but I feel like he's my mentor anyway. Yeah. You're my mentor now, though. I think you've replaced everybody. I just watch your videos all day.
You should just call me. You should just call me.
I know that you're busy, so I'm just like, I just watch your videos.
Honestly, from now on, and this I'm saying it on the record.
Thank you.
Like, please.
Thanks, you're so
just
sweet.
Call me. Yeah.
Thank you. But, you know, so I just always used to watch Tony Robbins. He was like a big one for me. I think I started listening to his videos at like 14 when I went through a hard time. And it was just the thing I always noticed him repeating was passion. And I was like, what do people have passion for? And I would always watch people and just notice like when their eyes would light up and when they'd spark. And for Huda specifically, it was beauty. You know, she would always spend all of her free time talking about makeup and beauty products. And one day I was just staring at her. It was a little while after she lost her job. And she was just trying to figure things out and just try to figure out what she wanted to do in life. And at that time, she had left her job in financial recruitment. And she was just like looking for another job like that my parents would be happy with. And you know, another job that would tick a box of like, okay, my daughter's successful because she's filling, you know, a job that everybody expects her to have. And none of us thought outside of that box. And one day I just stared at her and I was like, you need to do beauty. Like I've never seen anyone so passionate about makeup and beauty and just that creative part of your life. You love it so much. And I just started staring at her. It was kind of weird. And I was like, I had this like epiphany. And I was like, you have to do this. And I went downstairs and I started talking to my parents. I was like, you guys have to support Huda, like help her, just give her that support. And then she went down and she told them the same thing. And they were just super supportive. It was the most bizarre thing because my entire life, my dad has been very pro education. You need to do your bachelor's, your master's, your PhD, and then another PhD. Like he's just gone that route for himself. So I didn't expect them to be cool about it, and they totally were. And like a week later, she was in LA studying beauty. It was kind of surreal.
Wow. And you transitioned also from banking. So
you
had that big transition. How did you feel when you were leaving the traditional success pathway?
It was really hard. For me, it was harder because I quit. I didn't get fired. So it was like I made the decision to like close that chapter and leave. And it was so hard. I knew I had to because I knew I didn't want to do it. But I didn't even tell my boss in person. I sent an email and my sister Alia had to press the send button because I drafted it and I was so nervous that maybe I'm making a mistake that I was like, I can't do it. Please send the send button. And she sent it right away and I was like, no, I didn't mean right now. I was like, let's talk about it. But she sent it.
And were you just waiting there for the response?
I was so nervous. And I thought, oh my gosh, I just screwed myself. Like I don't know what I'm going to do now. What am I going to do for like my life? And it was definitely really hard, but I knew in my heart that it wasn't something that I had passion for. And I was still figuring myself out. So I didn't start working in beauty right away. I went into PR and business consulting, which helped me a lot. It taught me so much about just starting your own business and just marketing yourself and just the way PR works because I had no idea about it. I studied finance. So it was all like new information for me, but it definitely helped me learn a lot that helped us with Huda Beauty and another business that I started. I had a business before we went into Huda Beauty. I had the Dollhouse. So that was a great experience and I learned so much. And it also taught me, I'm not saying business is easy, but it taught me how not hard it is. You know, it's not unachievable. If you put your mind to it, anything is possible. And I think just having that that smaller success with the Dollhouse made me realize, okay, anything's possible. Let's put our minds together and let's create what you want. And I saw that Huda, you know, her passion was beauty. And then I just told her, like, we need to start a line for you because you have so much input on every product. She's the biggest critic. She's the perfectionist. So I know that she could improve standards on everything. So we started first with the lashes. And again, it was just, I think, building yourself with small successes helps you get the confidence for the big ones. So just experiment. That's what I did. I just started experimenting. And to be honest, I was like a serial entrepreneur. A lot of them were failures. Thank God they weren't big ones. They were small things. And, you know, I just think learning from all those failures teaches you so much.